The Gunnaz Podcast.
All right, people.
Bro could have got a break on Sky Sports and would be like, all right, we're rolling. And then this guy's like,
I didn't realize you guys were recording. Sorry.
All right, people. Welcome to another episode of the Gunnaz Podcast. We'll have a massive lineup today. We'll have 3 Chelsea fans versus 3 Arsenal fans talking about the 2-2 draw. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 2. Was it a good game? Maybe for Chelsea fans, their best game of the season, while Arsenal's worst. I don't know. But, we're here. I'd like to introduce all my guests today. We have Yusuf, our roommates, my first ever roommates. I've known him for, 4 years, 3 years now? Too long. Sinclair, the master midfielder for Earlham College, number 19. Almost as good as Nicolas Pepe. Anyways, Tajh, I've known this man for about 9 years. Still don't hit my phone. Can't see him, but that's okay. We'll move right along. Orin, another midfield maestro, taking a season off to work on his craft. Build up his fitness. And my co-host, Dikanya. I am Dylan if you don't know me before. And yeah, you see the instructions in the bottom. Please do them. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And take it away, my friend.
yeah, bro. So again, I just want to welcome the guests on. We're just going to head straight into it, talking about the Chelsea versus Arsenal game. And we'll start off with the goalkeepers. So I want to hear from you guys because we know how the modern goalkeepers are. They take a lot more risks. They are trying to play out from the back always. And we saw, like yesterday, Raya almost gave away one, passing the ball directly on Cole Palmer's foot. He got away with it. But Sanchez didn't get away with it because he did a madness. And Rice pounced on it and finished. So let's hear from Orin. How are you feeling about the modern type of goalkeeper?
I think it's essential to the game. You rarely see any teams nowadays that play with like a traditional goalkeeper or someone who doesn't get involved in the attack. And I think part of having a modern goalkeeper is having a goalkeeper that takes risks. Like you sign a goalkeeper at the beginning of the season and you say, I want this goalkeeper to make progressive forward passes, and you say maybe we give up 3 goals extra a season from mistakes from that goalkeeper, and they get better over time, but that's something you sign up for. I think Raya's made a few too many mistakes, but Sanchez, I can't remember that many off the top of my head with his passing. I don't know if like Chelsea fans remember more than I do, but I would say like it's a essential part of like pretty much any team, and mistakes are going to happen. So you can't knock them too much. And I think from a game by game basis, like it's pretty rare that we see 2 goalkeepers on opposite ends of the field make mistakes that almost lead to goals or do lead to goals. So
Yeah, true.
yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't. Yeah, not too much to say on that.
All right, Tajh, any thoughts?
Well, yeah, I agree with Orin. It's really essential to the building up from the back and playing out, sending some long balls, especially if you have a target man. Does a lot of those nowadays, but still essential. And to touch on Sanchez, that mistake, I don't know how it happened, but it really confirmed some of my fears and the mistakes that could happen. But he's been playing good, and I think he's an improvement compared to what we had before.
For sure, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The mistakes happen, but it's part of it.
All right, Sinclair, let's hear from you, my brother.
I agree about the mistakes part, man. But like, I think the factor also has to be like when to take I mean, when to take risks, so like when to not take risks. You know what I mean? Like for sure, like keepers have to take risks. And I think that was the problem with Sanchez yesterday. Like that's why we gave away the goal. It was like when he was trying to like take risks and play out, like nobody wanted to feed. You know what I mean? Like I think it was supposed to go to Gallagher or like Enzo, but like none of them showed for the ball. And like that's my problem. Like I don't mind that he takes risks, you know, because like he's decent with his feet. You know, like every keeper's gonna make a mistake. He's decent, but it's like that's his biggest problem. I think like decision making, like not knowing when to like take those risks. And like on the whole point about like it's better than what we had. I don't know. Like in terms of with the ball at their feet, like I think Kepa was better in terms of that. Like with Rob Sanchez, like with the ball at his feet, Kepa was better. Even in terms of like risk taking, bro. Like and like I keep saying it. If Sanchez clears that ball, bro, like we win the game. You know, like it's momentum, bro. It's the 80th minute. Everyone's knackered, bro. Like we've been chasing your midfielders for like 80 minutes straight, bro. Like nobody wants it to be like, clear the shit, you know. But I guess it is essential though, like for keepers to take risks, you know, to like get numbers up and stuff. But you need to know when, bro. You just need to know.
And I agree with that point that you're talking about with Sanchez because I don't think he was benched at Brighton because of his ability to stop shots, right? It was Steele for God's sake. Like Steele isn't a great goalkeeper with his hands, but he was better at playing out the ball. So yeah, speaking about Brighton, let's go over to Yusuf, Chelsea fan. Chelsea
Yeah.
fan.
I think keepers have the hardest job on the field if you think about it, and have the highest responsibility in a way. So looking at a striker, they make so many mistakes, but they still get away with that. And wingers compared to a keeper, where when they make a simple mistake, they're like in front of the goal, and that's a goal and changes the whole game. So I think it's the nature of the game to make mistakes. It wasn't even if you think about it, it wasn't really about taking what is it called? Taking it wasn't really thinking about taking a risk. It was more of a making a mistake, which happens to all players. But if you're a keeper, you have to be rounded. You can't make a mistake. It's so close to the goal, and if you make one mistake, it's a goal. Game over. So I think it's the nature of the game, and like if you think about Raya and Sanchez, they haven't played in a high level game compared to keepers like Courtois or Oblak or players like that, which makes very few mistakes. So I think it's part of it, and I think it'll just become with experience and more game time, and that's how they can get away with that. So I think it's okay. One mistake, a goal, okay. Raya got away with it. So I think it's just part of the game, and it's the nature of the game. I don't think it was something that big of a problem. It's too big because it's Arsenal vs Chelsea, big game, but like I'm still okay with it. I wasn't complaining about Sanchez. I don't know if you guys did about Raya as an Arsenal fan though.
I think he could have done better, but
Yeah.
Dylan, any thoughts, bro?
No, I'm actually really impressed with the lineup of today because that is a very solid point still. Like you don't see Courtois and I don't watch the Liga as much as I probably should. But you know, like big keepers make mistakes, like Allison. Like, but you're not going to hear a Liverpool fan talking about, oh, Allison made a mistake, he has sold our season. It's just like, you know, it's a space and time that we're in, and you know, to make a solid point like Yusuf did, it's just like the reality of the situation. It's like, what stage are we living in right now? We both have new keepers, you know, we both had keepers, you know, Kepa is playing at Real Madrid now. So it kind of feels odd, you know? But no, I actually fully agree. I think the rare issue, I think it's being taken out of perspective at this point. Like, from Ramsdale to Rhea, it's not going to be that big of a difference. Like, and I'm not saying this in a gloating manner, but if you come second, losing by a couple points, you're not going to have the 20-point jump that we had from Leno to Ramsdale.
yeah.
Or Tierney to Zinchenko playing on the ball. Like, it's just at what stage are you in, right? Like, you know, if Mikel says this is going to win us another 2 points and potentially win us the league, then okay, like, you know, that's his decision, and we're not managers. So, like, you know, kind of just calm down. He does things that Ramsdale can't do, and that's fine.
True.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah. And I also think some keepers are more comfortable with the ball, and some keepers are less comfortable with the ball. So it's also a matter of knowing how capable your keepers are. And like then having them as an option to play with the ball. So like it's you have to take a decision when you're in the as a keeper. So like if your keeper is not that comfortable with the ball, then you have to make the choice of not playing with the keeper and like having the ball more in the midfield and having a better choice there. Because like if you give them the ball more often and they're not comfortable with the ball, they will easily give away. So it's like it's a matter of also knowing what your keeper is capable of and like how you put them into the game and like use them as an option back.
Yeah,
But
and it also comes on to the big game too. It was a big game. It had a lot of pressure for both teams, whether people want to admit it or not. It was a
Yeah.
big game. It was a London derby. For the Raya mistake, for sure, we were 2-0 down. And if we weren't 2-0 down and it was just a regular game situation, I don't think he would have passed the ball directly there. But it's the pressure, bro. I played football, so you guys, anyone who plays football, they understand. Say,
Yeah.
pressure can get to you sometimes.
Mm.
Yeah, bro.
But-
Let's go over to.
wait, bro.
All
Before,
right, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, but before you go over, just like, but like context, boys, like I don't think like every keeper makes mistakes. The Edisons, the Allisons, are open to make, but it's context, boys. Like 80th minute, right? We're in a bad run of form. The ball comes across to you with being pressed on your weaker foot. You know what I mean? Like if that ball comes to Edison on his weaker foot, you're being pressed. You need this result, bro. Like you have a terrible run in. Like Edison's clearly like Edison doesn't make that mistake, bro. So like that's what I just mean about like decision making, bro. Like you're trying to skip a pass with your left foot when they've overloaded one side and everyone's being pressed. It's like even if the ball gets to whoever you want to pass it to, like then what, bro? Like Gallagher's gonna turn and dribble 5 players and like come on, bro. Like as for me, bro, like those things are like inexcusable, bro. Like at this level, like mistakes are fine, bro, but it's like they have to have the right thought process behind them, bro. Like bro, like what was the plan? Like that's, but yeah, man, I don't know. But yeah,
Do you think that Ederson never made that mistake though? Like before he doesn't make any mistakes now.
no, but like
We are talking about new keepers, and that's how you learn. You make mistakes.
no, bro.
And I guarantee you, when he gets that pass again, he will never
Mm.
make a pass to a defensive midfielder on the other team with his weak foot. That's going out of bounds from then on in his career. And yeah,
And
it sucks that you
also-
drop points from that point, but
also to build on that, right? You make that pass 9 times out of 10, Rice is not taking that shot.
No.
Like think about it. In the modern game, Rice is laying that off. You know, like Rice did something that was just class.
Bro, for me, it's even.
it was class. It was a class finish.
You don't always, that doesn't always happen.
True. And for me, it's written in the stars as well, bro, because after the match, he said, hey, I was watching that David Beckham documentary. And it's like he saw Beckham doing it, and he was like, bro.
He's even taking the piss, bro. Can you hear
Yeah,
that, bro?
bro, come. Yo, that guy's have real shittos, bro. I have to tell you.
Bro.
Uh,
Boys. Like I hear you mistakes, like you learn from mistakes, but at this level, bro, like we could go on a 5-game losing run, bro. This was free morale. This was free motivation. This was like
Not
free.
free.
Bro, we're leading the game, bro. Like 2-0. Like if you get back into the game because of a mistake, bro, like you've thrown it away, you bottled it, bro. Like it's not like it was some crazy build up and there was nothing we could do, dog. Like we shot ourselves in the foot, bro. Like we go into Brentford, it's not a must win anymore. Now we have to win the game, bro. Pressure's back up. Like if we lose that game, now we go to the City. We go to City, backs against the wall, bro. Like now what, dog? Come on, man. It's like nah.
Orin is looking better still, but yeah, let's head over to the next point. I don't want to drag it out too much. I think we'll talk about this. So the wingers, right? The wingers and the wing backs. So we saw Martinelli go up against Gusto, Cucurella go up against Saka. We saw Trossard go up against Gusto. So yeah, let's talk a bit about those 3
Sterling's in Zinchenko.
matchups.
Yeah, Sterling Zinchenko.
Sterling's in Zinchenko. He was
Yeah,
jacked
yeah,
all
Sterling,
time.
those
Jacked
4.
all time.
Yeah, Sterling Zinchenko. So let me hear from Yusuf.
I think Sterling did his job right. Like when he gets the ball, just walking in, like in the 18 line. He was there all the time. I think Sterling was the only winger I could say that that did his job well. I don't like Sterling. I'm not a big fan of Sterling, but still, I think he did really well and he played a really good game. Um, and like I think he made a lot of chances that could have led to penalty. There was not penalty at the end, but I think Sterling did his job right and he was there all the time. And that's why Sinjeko got subbed because he couldn't keep up with Sterling.
Mm.
And then Tommy Asa came on, and then where did Sailing go?
Gone.
Everyone said, hold on. Let me-
Right.
In the
I
pocket.
wanted
That guy
Sterling
is
to
so
move
dry.
up
When
the-
I saw Tomiyasu invert, bro, I was like, Christ have mercy, bro.
Bro, the
This
guy,
ugly
the guy
bro.
is so good 1v1 defending, bro.
Yeah, he's good.
And you know what? I had this debate once with some of my friends, and they were like, Warren Wan-Bissaka. And yes, he's good at defending 1v1, but I don't like this as a defender because I'm a defender. I don't like when you always have to go to ground to win a tackle. And every single tackle I see Aaron Wan-Bissaka make, he's on the ground sliding. Tomiyasu just makes defending 1v1 look so easy, bro. He's always on his foot, right? So
Yeah.
that's one thing I really love with Tomiyasu as a 1v1 defender. He's strong in the tackle, he's firm, and yeah, bro, I just love it. So
Great-
let me
great
hear from
substitution.
Tajh.
So what?
Tajh. Let me hear from Tajh.
Well, that Sterling was really good. Sterling was really good. I'm actually genuinely impressed by how well he did up until the point when Tomiyasu came on. And was it Gusto? Yeah. He played well, but that Trossard goal should not have happened.
Yeah.
That was one mistake, just like with Sanchez. That was just one mistake, one lapse in judgment. He never checked his shoulder, and then the goal just happened. But that was a really good pass. I don't remember who passed it, who assisted him, but that was a really good assist.
Bukayo Saka.
Bukayo.
And Cucurella,
So,
Hail Marys.
he's a bit, to me, Cucurella is a bit over aggressive, and I'm not the biggest fan of his, but again, I think he did well to frustrate Saka, who didn't even look like himself on the match day.
Yeah, bro.
So overall, good job from both teams.
Saka wasn't really match fit still. You could really see that throughout. But
yeah, definitely was not match fit.
Orin, let's hear from you.
Let's see. I think Sterling, especially in the first half, fantastic. Good substitution from Arteta. I think it was like pretty obvious substitution, but good for him to make that at halftime. Tomiyasu locked him down, but Sterling won the penalty, or at least like put in the ball to win the penalty. So
Yeah.
I think that definitely Chelsea's most creative player in the first half. So I'd give him that matchup overall. I think it's pretty interesting. Like you said, like one mistake, Tajh, that led to both goals really for Arsenal. It really speaks to like the class. I don't want to sound biased as an Arsenal fan, but like if you can lock down Bukayo for 80 minutes and you get beat once and he delivers an inch perfect ball and we score, that's pretty amazing. And I think that really shows like just the difference in levels. Like Cucurella played his best game I think I've seen in a Chelsea shirt for Cucurella. And he gets beat once and then Bukayo delivers a fantastic ball. So I don't know. It really doesn't. You can play fantastic for 80 minutes, and if you make one mistake against a good player like that, it doesn't matter. Your whole performance is out the window. So I don't know. You have to be good for 90 minutes. You can't win a matchup for 80 and then have one lapse of judgment.
100.
Yeah, I
Like
don't.
Arteta's been saying that, like and I think he says it. He drills this in his players' head because Arsenal used to always be this team that will perform and then, like for majority of the game, and they will concede a fluke goal, a mistake goal, or something. So I think Arteta really drilled that into the head of the players. Like you have, even in his interviews, he's saying it to reporters, like for 100 minutes, we have to be good for 100 minutes. You see me, bro? So like he's fully aware that you have to be on it, bro. You have to be on it for until the whistle is finished blowing. You don't have a good game until the final whistle is blown and you have a clean sheet as a defender. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
great
bro.
point.
Sinclair.
In terms of the matchups, yeah, Sterling Cook Zinchenko, like, but I wasn't surprised. You know what I mean? Like it's like the trend thing with Liverpool, right? Like every team that plays against Liverpool, it's the ball in over Trent, and then like whichever wingers, like it's the same thing with Zinchenko. So like I was surprised he got dragged at half time because for me it's like you get dragged at half time and you do things that you weren't expected to do. You know what I mean? Like I don't think anyone expected him to lock up Sterling, right? I think maybe it was that one where I think like it was Thiago clipped the ball into like Cole Palmer, and then Palmer flicked the ball, and then Sterling pins Zinchenko, and then like turned him and then went like
Yeah, that was nice.
I don't know if it was for the goal, but I think it was maybe like extreme or whatever. But like yeah, he torched him, like he was done. In terms of like your wingers against our fullbacks, I think like the biggest thing I noticed was it's like points of confrontation and stuff, like where they engage, like with the wingers. Like from what I've seen from you guys like pin teams back. So like Martinelli and Saka have a lot of space to go into. So like stand the defender up, step over, like throw you left, go right, like those type of things. But like as soon as they got the ball, like Cucurella was up in Saka. You know what I mean? Like he almost made it like a physical thing. Like you're not gonna dribble me. You're gonna have to be able to like pin me and turn me and then like run. But like not a lot of defenders do nowadays because like a lot of defenders like more technical. And it's like something I've noticed with soccer. Like every time I've seen him go up against like a physical left back, like Ake or something like or a Kanji. Like someone who's going to like get tight and say you're gonna have to like out muscle me to be able to like get past me as opposed to like dribble me. Like I've seen him have like don't get me wrong, he made the assist. Like he still like got it together in the end, but like not look his best. And he wasn't match fit too. But like same with Martinelli. Like I just don't think it's his game to be able to like do the hazard, like drop deep,
Yeah,
get
that's the thing.
faint right, go left, and then like you know what I mean. He's like a winger, like hug the byline. I
Yeah.
mean hug the touchline and like step up, like Sane type thing. So I thought like that was the story of the game for that. But I think something that was underrated about the matchups is like I think our subs really like messed up like us in terms of the goal because Madueke came on for Mudrik, and something that like people don't really talk about a lot is like the times when like the defenders they get pinned back, like they would double up, like the wingers would come and double up onto Saka. So if Saka did cut in, like the winger was there and he had to go back to like Ben White who's open because like they're doubling up on him type of thing. But when Madueke came on, like and he was supposed to double up, he let him free, so it became like a 1v1, and like Cucurella couldn't do anything when he came on the inside. So it's like, and also Gusto, like I think that's an inexperienced thing. Like my last point, like I think that's an inexperienced thing because it's like you see the ball on the opposite side, like you know how it is playing, bro. Like not such a high level. It's like a gamble, right? Like you see the ball over there, you see your man, you're like, normally I should get tight, and probably in France, like you don't have to get tight. See, like there's no way it can come over. There's no way it can like he can put it on a dime like he did. But it's like so he gave himself that space, but then Saka like put it on a dime and it's like oh fuck type thing like last minute. So I don't know. That was my takeaway from like.
Right.
I think the one thing that I wanted to touch on from what you said is that I think the difference in Martinelli and Saka, when Saka gets locked up, it's like he does like nothing happens. In a sense, like for the first like 80 minutes of the game, when Cucurella was just on him, right? Like there wasn't even a ball that was played. Like he'd play to Ben White and kind of like just hope, right? But the difference with him and Martinelli, like every time Martinelli is paired up with somebody that's like physical and strong, like even Kyle Walker, there's a ball sent into the mid, right?
Yeah.
And Jesus is obviously not there because Jesus thinks that he's a midfielder, but like like at least there's a ball sent, and that's why I think Martinelli, like in terms of like real like levels, I just think Martinelli is so underrated. I think he's for me for a long time he has been better than Saka. That's my just when you watch him, like he doesn't have the support. He doesn't have like
Yeah, that's
he has all the skills, bro. Like the man will run you anywhere. Like I don't know, the explosive power, the physicality, and you can see that he's going to become that striker, bro. You just know, like eventually he's going to turn into hopefully a real number 9 and just take his career to the next level. But
Martinelli.
I
You
love
think
him.
Martinelli's gonna be a 9?
He started out as a 9, to be honest, and
When he's older, bro, like
I didn't think that's where you were going with that one, bro.
no, I think
yeah,
when
true.
he's
But
playing-
I think he has ability though. He did start out as a 9 when he just came. I don't know if you remember that, Orin. He did start out as a 9.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now where he's at in his career, I believe wing it's definitely for him. But
Yeah.
No, he's a winger
definitely
now.
when he
Yeah.
gets older.
You
Definitely when
think
he
like
gets
a Ronaldo situation?
Mm.
Like, well, I mean, when Ronaldo got when he had his knee injury and then he started to play more centrally. So I think maybe something like that. I could see that, like maybe when in his 30s when he slows
Yeah.
down. I mean, he's electric. There was 2 times in that game where Gusto took off down the line and he caught up to him in like 3 steps. I was like, wow. I mean, we know he's fast, but I think he's too fast to be playing up top right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Martinelli's the next Ronaldo.
Did I say he was Ronaldo?
Yes.
No. But Ronaldo started as a left winger and then moved to striker
heard.
later in his career.
Terry Henry region.
Here you go, bro.
Another thing,
Then when he's going on loan to Fluminense next January, I'm gonna remember these clips, bro. I'm gonna clip it.
nah, never.
Clip it, bro.
Another thing as well I noticed in this game, like our wingers were collecting the ball way deeper than usual. I don't know if it was because of how Chelsea set up. As you said, they were doubling up, so the wing backs had a chance to go a bit higher, to engage a bit earlier. A lot of times we see Martinelli and Saka getting the ball closer to the goal, way wide. But this time they were deeper. So I think that's why the change for Trossard was needed. Because as Sinclair was saying, they aren't the Hazard type of wingers that can drop a shoulder and move. So that Trossard change, even though Martinelli was playing well, to have a more effective way of playing and like breaking them down, I think Trossard was needed, to be honest. So yeah, let's head over into the next thing, bro. Mudryk. Yeah, bro, we all know. Like, what the hell, bro? We all know this guy was trying to cross the ball, bro. It was like, bro, look at his eyes. It was almost like
He makes
Saka's
eye
goal.
contact with.
That was well calculated.
Bro, it was like Saka's goal versus Chelsea in lockdown with his right foot.
Saka's
Everyone
was
who
nicer,
the guy
though.
was crossing.
That was what I was saying.
And all of you Arsenal fans still told me he was trying to chip the keeper. So now I'm going to tell you.
Come on, no.
Exactly. We're literally watching that game together, and he was telling me he
Bro.
meant to score that goal.
Even Saka was shithousing and he said he saw the keeper off it. Nah, bro. Would you chip?
Bro, even if you look at Mudryk's eyes, like he was looking at Sterling.
Mudryk has more evidence
Sterling, bro.
against him.
What are you saying?
Mudryk has more evidence against him, like
Exactly.
because that video of him with his eyes is so funny in the
Exactly.
replay. I remember laughing when I saw that.
Bro, he was literally
Saka's goal, you
looking
can't
at
really
Sterling.
tell what he's looking at, so I don't know. But yeah, I think they're both crosses.
Grasses.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely crosses.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
get over into this debate then. Poch versus Arteta. First of all, I want to hear individually from you guys. Who won on the day, and then who you think is a better coach. So who won on the day first, and then who do you think is a better coach? So like man for man, tactically, engaging with his players, touchline, how he speaks about his players, everything, right? So I'm gonna start off with Yusuf.
not me, man. Okay. I think that's a difficult question to answer, to be honest. We have seen Arteta on a I'm not saying Tottenham's not a big team, but like we haven't seen Pochettino yet on a big team like Chelsea, where we saw compared to Arteta first games in Arsenal to Pochettino first games at Chelsea. I think Pochettino is doing really good. If you look back a few months back and how Chelsea was playing, there was no. If you look at the front, we literally barely scored goals. If you concede 1-2, we barely scored any goals. We get to the front line, we don't score not that many goals. I think Chelsea is getting back to a team that has an identity now. So you could see if they get in the front of the goal, they score goals. They are more creative. He makes a lot of changes. Jackson was starting literally every game. I know he got a bit of an injury, but he just put him in the bench. And like I think he's a good player, but at the same time he found another way to engage with other players. Project is injured, but at the same time, Palmer, Mudryk, Sterling. I mean, they're Sweden size false nine. I think he was making something happen. He's cooking. I know he doesn't have a good striker, but at the same time, he was making something happen. And I could see it's a project, as the Arsenal fans say, it's a project, it's coming. So I think they're both great coaches. But if I were to choose one for my team, it's a difficult question. I think I like Pochettino. He's doing a great job. I also like Arteta. He made Arsenal a good team. They're both great
That's not
coaches.
an
I don't know what
answer.
else to say.
No sitting on the fence, bro.
No
One
sitting on the
answer.
fence on this podcast.
Pick one.
One answer, Alex.
They are both great coaches.
All right, so who do you think won on the day then?
Of course, Pochettino. I think Chelsea deserved to win that game. To be honest, we created more chances. Going on to the game, I thought Arsenal was gonna win, but at the same time, like out of nowhere, Chelsea performed really well. Enzo was great the whole time. I don't know how Rice took man of the match. To be honest, like he barely did anything. There were a lot more better players than him in the game. Like clearly,
wouldn't you say-
That's an L take.
Yeah, wouldn't you say the substitutions that Poch made, like taking off Sterling and Mudryk,
yeah, I think
kind of gave us that, like, because when you guys made those changes, you didn't really have a pacey threat in behind anymore. So Arsenal just did this with
Yeah.
you guys down. So those changes, even though you got it right up to that point, those changes were made even before Arteta made his, and then Arteta was like, "Oh, I'll respond,"
Thanks.
and then that's how the momentum kind of switched. So I don't know.
Yeah,
if
I
Poch
mean, we
really
were
won.
up first, so like he like. I think Mudueke subbing Mudryk for Mudueke. I don't think that was the best decision to make, but at the same time, Bolmer, though he was not touching the ball that much, but at the same time, every time he touched, like he was putting the ball in a dangerous area. Like he had a few touches, but I don't know. I think it's hard to say it, and it's like those times you make the sub, which you really need it because you're at home and you have 2 goals up, and you need to make change to boost the energy and you know what I mean. So I think they were like, I don't think that was decisive, but like just put it into the game as Arsenal being the favorite and pulling up that. I think that Pochettino did really the job right.
All right, Sinclair.
Yeah, in terms of like who's better between the two, I think it's hard. I mean, right now it's Arteta, obviously, because you guys are like further in your development of like the project or whatever. But it's a hard one, man, because it's like Poch's first season here. And even though you guys are like, champagne football, like keep the ball, like teams have to drop off you. Like it hasn't always been this way, has it? Like the first season, you guys were 5 at the back, clip the ball to Aubameyang, and hope he does something, right? Like that was your game, right? And like that, and at that point, I don't think you guys would have said like Arteta's the truth. You'd have said, "What the fuck is he doing?" Right? Like what are you on about, man? So I think my only problem with Poch right now, I guess, in terms of like his tactical management, is I think he's a better pragmatic manager than he is like an offensive thinking manager. Like I don't know, like he's good at stopping teams. Like yesterday, right? Like he staggered the midfield. Like no one would have seen that coming, and it worked. You know what I mean? But in terms of like with the ball and stuff, bro, it kind of seems like give it to our most talented players like Enzo, and let him cook. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it doesn't look like. Okay, tuck this person in so that we can create an overload. You know what I mean? I don't see that right now. But it's the first season, so it's hard to say. I guess his peak was at Spurs, and I guess Arteta's peak is right now. So like just comparing pieces, it'd have to be like Arteta. In terms,
I agree with everything else you said, but in saying Arteta's peak is right now is crazy, bro. The guy is literally 3 years into his managerial career.
And that's what I mean, bro. From what we've seen, like of Arteta,
It's the best we've
manager.
seen of Arteta. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying like this is the best he's ever gonna be, bro. Like, I just feel like up to the point, like this is his best. So like, I guess it have to be Arteta, bro. Like I don't know, like he's just crazy, bro. When it comes to like tactics and shit, like you guys are mad. Like the stuff I see him do, the players he puts into different places, like it's crazy. Like you don't see that like from Poch, but it's early too. So I guess I give it to Arteta now because of like where you're in your development, but I guess with
And on the
time,
day,
on the day it was Podge for sure, bro. Like you guys were out of it, you know, like you're out of it for the longest time, like until the goal happened. You guys, like,
all right.
I wasn't seeing, but I think that's a play anyway. But Podge though, Podge on the day.
All right. Tajh.
Well, on the day, I'd give it to Poch. The only thing that would let me take some points away from him would be those substitutions in the second half, because that really affected how he played and how well we were able to attack and defend as well. But overall, I think Arteta is better right now, adding to what Sinclair and Yusuf said. Like, you're further along in a development. This is his first season. He's still trying to figure out the team and where he can place different people. And a lot of people in our fan base like to say, well, we're not at full strength, XYZ. We have people who are injured. Reece James just coming back from an injury. Jackson still not up to speed completely. He had a surgery on his wrist. Nkuku not back as yet. So a lot of people still say that, you know, he's better, but he's still figuring out the team, see where he can insert different people and what they can do. But I'm really excited to see what he does when we have a full strength team for a longer while. As long as we can, you know, avoid injuries and stuff.
All right, cool. Orin.
You gotta agree with what everybody's already said. Poch definitely won the day. I think if you said 2-2 draw before the match started, Chelsea's always going to be a lot happier with that than Arsenal would be, and I think that comes down to the managerial decisions, especially like the way we started. I mean, Chelsea won the first 60 minutes, I'd say. I don't know if substitutions had as big an impact as we want to say they did. I think Arsenal definitely grew into the game, like at the end of the second half, and then through the full 90, they kind of like got back into the game, and I think as good teams tend to do. But I definitely give on the day to Poch. Overall, definitely Arteta further along in his development, as you guys have said. But I think what's even crazier is how fast Arteta's turned around Arsenal. I mean, the squad that he inherited was awful. Like, I mean, we had Socrates and Mustafi as our starting center backs, Saka at left back, and Torreira and Xhaka as holding midfielders.
Maitland
Don't
Niles.
forget
David
Kolasinac.
Luiz. David Luiz.
And Kolasinac, David Luiz. Yeah, I mean, that team was awful. Compared to the team that Poch inherited at Chelsea and the amount of money that he had available to spend, I mean, you guys are making £100 million signings in as manager's first season. When is that ever heard of? You have World Cup winners starting in your midfield. It's pretty ridiculous to like try to compare them and be like, oh yeah, he's further along in his development. Poch is a more experienced manager, so you have to give him that. But I'd say Arteta, from like an objective point of view, is a better manager.
All right. Dylan, what do you want to add?
No, I'm just here watching Sinclair because Sinclair doesn't look too happy with what Orin said. But maybe
A lot of questionable things said, but
Wait, I want to hear. What did I say?
that's mad, bro. So what your point is, like, you can't use the fact that it's Poch's first year because we have a bunch of money.
No, you can use. I didn't say that you can't use.
I think you can, bro, because what he was saying wasn't a lie. You guys, in his first season, that he had spent so much money, right? If you look back at Arteta, he came mid-season.
Okay.
When
Yeah,
he
December,
came
right? Yeah.
Yeah, he came December. When he came in December, he won us FA Cup. He had a whole lot of deadwood. I, for one, I'm a big Ozil fan. So the way how he was treating Ozil, like, bro, I wanted him out. I hated Arteta, bro. Like, the picture with him, like, just cocking up his foot in the sun with the umbrella like this. Bro,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
like, bro, that pierced my heart, bro, to see Ozil like that. You see me? So, bro, he had a whole lot to go through. And then there were some signings that he had to make because the board wasn't fully ready to give him money at that time. Because I don't think at that time they had the full takeover as it. So we had to be signing players like Willian, David Luiz. And remember, those were Arteta signings. Imagine if Poch came in and Poch had to be signing some low-life players like that, bro.
Holding, Cedric.
Now, Holding was a
here.
winger signing. But yeah,
No, I'm
even
just
Cedric
saying,
was a
if they
signing.
had to sign Holding
Yeah.
and Cedric.
Yeah,
Imagine.
but even Cedric, bro. Imagine having to sign. Remember, imagine having to sign Sambila Kanga, bro. You
Pablo
guys,
Mari.
he just came in and he's got Enzo, he's got Caicedo, he's got Lavia, right?
Okay, stop. Wait, hold on right there. Of those three players you've just mentioned, Enzo's the only one who's been there that long, bro. Like, Caicedo has played like his 5th game for us. Lavia hasn't played, bro. So I get you spent the money. But if these
Yeah.
players haven't played, bro, like what's the point?
Yeah, he like Poch literally just came and like he got the team, he has good players, but at the same time it's a project and it's like it takes time. You can't just come and perform well on the next game. Arteta, like now if you look at him, his bench, Trossard and KT, like he has like so many options to choose from compared to Chelsea. Like he has good players, but most of the players are out for what? For injury. And Kuku is not there.
Exactly.
His James just got back from injury, which is one of our top players. Like literally all our players are not there. Also, the team chemistry is not yet there. Like it takes time. It's a project, as you guys call it.
Yeah.
Like just give him more time, and we will see. 2 seasons in, 3 seasons in, we'll see which Pochettino gets, and we get a few more players. So then we talk.
Bro, and it's also
We've
like,
only been there 2 months now.
bro, and it's also like profile of players, bro. Like
Yeah.
you make it seem like we were signing Mbappe, like we were signing prospects, bro. Like
Future.
No, not a World Cup winner is not a prospect. Enzo Fernandez is not a
okay.
prospect.
You're talking about Enzo. You're talking about Enzo, right?
That's just one
Yes.
guy.
Enzo's
Yeah.
playing well. Enzo playing well. He's playing well.
Cole Palmer is not a prospect.
Are you joking? He's 20 years old. What is he? Like he's supposed to be captain of the
I
club.
mean, no, but he did come from
We
City.
have the youngest set of players in the league right now. So like, what's that?
Yeah, but hold on.
500 million on.
Cole Palmer is not a prospect.
We have the youngest player. No, we have the youngest squad.
Youngest player in the league thing.
We have the youngest squad in the league right now.
Yeah, okay. You just started that. We're the 3rd youngest players in the league.
30.
Like, we've been doing
okay.
this youngest players
But,
thing.
but boys, let's be fair. Like all of the players you're saying have been flops and haven't adapted well and haven't been playing well. It's the Mudriks, bro. Like it's the young people. Like who else? I mean, Caicedo just got you. He's been fine, right? Like Reece James has been injured, bro. Ben Chilwell's been injured. Like Badia Sheila's been injured. Like Levi Cole, we didn't buy him. Like he came from our
Fofana.
academy. What?
Fofana?
He's ACL. Like that's what I'm saying, bro. Like I get it, right? Like you're saying we spent a lot of money, but like if you're gonna put context in us, put context in Chelsea, bro. Like of that money that we spent, how much of that money is actually playing? Like Nkunku if you said Nkunku shit, I hear it, right? Like we've wasted money, but if he hasn't played, bro, like
That's fair.
what does he do, bro? It's like Sterling is another big one that's actually like a marquee player who's supposed to adapt instantly, who's supposed to play instantly. He's been performing. He was shit last season, 100%. But it's like he's performing. Like Nico Jackson, the prospect is shit, right? Like Mudryk, the prospect is shit. Gallagher's in our midfield, bro. Like talk to me, bro. Like who of the money that we spent is like no absolute shit that's supposed to be good at this point in time right now, bro.
Okay, but you can't say, oh, the money that we spent. Because when you spend, I don't know, the figure's kind of ambiguous. For
Billion,
Mudryk.
bro, billion.
No, okay, yeah, but I'm talking about Mudryk. I'd say like I think it's like 70 million
Yeah,
euros
billion.
or something like that. You can't spend that much money on a player and be like, oh, he's a prospect. If you spend that much money on a player, you're expecting that player to perform now.
But then, like, you're talking about like the nature of the market right now. That's what you're saying, right? Like,
No, but Chelsea. I think Chelsea have a tendency, especially recently, to spend more than they need to on a prospect.
but bro, you're storytelling now. Like, we're talking about Mudryk. Like,
They're trying to
Okay.
get Modric.
What?
like, but bro,
You guys trying to buy Modric too? Or like,
bro, Mudryk's paid like before he came
Yeah,
to
but we
Chelsea.
weren't going to pay that much for him.
But before he came to Chelsea, bro, like Mudrik's played like max 20 games in his career, his whole career. There's no way you can expect that same person to now be Eden Hazard. Like, that's just my point, dog.
I know, but you shouldn't spend that much expecting him not to be at least somewhat decent. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you, bro. I hear you. But it's like at the same time, it's like what's the expectation then, right? Like he's young, he's only played 20 games. You can't spend that much money on a player like of that profile, fair. But it's like, then what do you expect? Like, is he supposed to instantly be like a world beater? Like,
I just think there would be less talk about this if Chelsea had smarter decisions with their finances. Like if they spent less money on Mudryk and he wasn't performing, we wouldn't be talking about him as a flop, you know? And I think that's true of, I know Mudryk's probably the best example of that, but maybe like Sterling as well. I don't know.
I mean, I think for me, right, like I hear where you guys are coming from. I'm not really going for anybody because at the end of the day, it's not our money. Like, we can say that Wesley Fofana was 100 million. Okay, so did it affect your bank balance? Like, you still bought the same jersey that you're going to spend like a set amount of money on regardless. Like, you're not an investor in the club. So like for me, like I've kind of like distanced myself from this whole argument of like, oh, this player's 100 million, because like what does it prove? Like at the end of the day, I think like you can see why Chelsea would sign some of these players. Now, was it the right or wrong options? I don't care, bro. Like you guys are in the latter half of the table. Like it will show at the end of the season whether these players are worth it or not. Because if you guys get Champions League, then $1 billion is well spent. That's just like the bottom line. For me, bro.
What are we doing now? What are we doing?
Bro, look at Chelsea right now.
We can't be.
But then you say,
bro, do you know, 1 second, let me just butt in right here. Bro, do you know that $1 billion can buy 3 different football clubs? You know, $1 billion can buy 4 different clubs in the championship. Bro, spending $1 billion in football for players, bro, that's not worth it, bro. Especially if it's players like Modric, Enzo, Madueke. If you're talking about getting prime Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo in your team at once, okay. But not $1 billion on some little potential players, bro. That can never be worth it, ever. Trust.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, some players might not be worth it, but if you look at these players, the young players with 8-year contracts, we're not talking about today. We're talking about the future. Next 5, 6, 7 years on the line. And these players will develop. They have a good coach, develop under the good coach, and will perform. And most of them are performing right now, although some of them are out for injury. So they just came into the team. Like we need some team chemistry. We need. It's a project. Like it takes time. It's not gonna happen today, but we could see the potential in these players, and that's why we pay them for this price. And I think it just takes some time.
I agree with that, but the thing I was responding to was Dylan saying at the end of this season. Yeah. Like if they get Champions League at the end of this season, that's what I was replying to. It still is not worth it, bro. Right? Champions League. Only way it might be worth it. And even though for me,
what's the standard that you guys expect us to have?
$1 billion, you have to win the league.
Bro, like Man City.
Because listen to me.
They're the same.
The fact that you
have
guys
to win the league with new players.
Listen, the fact that you guys
spend $1 billion, it doesn't matter if they're new.
The fact that you guys spent $1 billion, right, on fringe players, that has nothing to do with me. The fact is you spent that $1 billion. So the moment you spend that $1 billion on players, bro, I'm expecting a quadruple every year. That is what $1 billion should get you in football, bro. Stop using these stupid examples about contracts, and because look at it this way. You spend $1 billion on players, you give them long-term contracts. Well, they don't have to perform. They can not perform, and then you have them on this long contract collecting a whole lot of money, and then what? You're not going to get profit. You're going to have to sell them for less. Okay. You're trapping yourself, guys. Like,
okay, so then question then, right? 4 years from now, right? Hypothetical, 4 years from now, Mudryk ends as the top goal scorer and top assister with 20 goals each. Are you going to be like, the money was worth it? Or are you going to say the money wasn't worth it because he didn't do this in his first season?
I'm going to be like the money wasn't worth it because you guys don't have a quadruple. He's a top goal scorer and he has top assists, but where are the trophies
I
for
hear
$1
you.
billion?
I hear with the billion, bro. I'm saying the 60 million for Mudryk, the 70 million for Mudryk, right? Like, because that's what you're saying. This is part of the waste of money that you're talking about, right? Mudryk is part of the waste of money. So what I'm saying is like, bro, if 4 years from now he becomes a player everyone expected him to be for the price tag, are you then going to say, but it doesn't count because he didn't do this in his first season? Or are you going to say, no,
Yeah. No, it does. I think if you say you have 70 million, you spend that on Mudryk, that's 3 seasons. Say he performs in his 4th season. That's
Yeah.
3 seasons that he's taking minutes away from someone who could be doing better. Now, if you spend 70 million or 80 million, 90 million on him in that 4th season, that's probably worth it because you're paying 20 million to not have to do his development. But you're paying 70 million to develop a player yourself. That's not worth it.
Exactly. You want something ready-made when you're spending that amount of money, bro. Or, bro, it's just if you can take that risk, you can take that risk on one player. But to take that risk on so many players, bro, that's where the problem is. You can't take it with one player because Manchester United did that with Haaland, right? But for so many players on top of players, you're taking that risk. That is not wise, bro. That's my point, to be honest.
I think the only thing, right? You can't spend $1 billion and not have a world class striker. That one I don't understand. I don't understand that in the slightest.
Come on, bro.
No, I can't understand that, bro. If Arteta had $1 billion, bro, think of who he's going to buy. The man's going straight to Mbappe door. Nothing.
He's buying Mbappe.
Bro,
like Mbappe would be at Arsenal if he had $1
think
billion.
about it. Like genuinely, that's the only point that I'm like, all right, wait.
But bro, it's like context
Bro.
now. You're just saying things, dog. Like, of course you go and get Mbappe because Mbappe is all you need, bro. Like, context and reality is, bro, we don't have Arsenal squad. We didn't have Arsenal squad at the beginning of the season. Like, we needed a whole new squad, bro. Like,
You had enough money to.
what?
You had enough money to build something at least similar. It's
Yeah.
not sustainable development that you're on.
Without spending that much money.
Wait. So now we've wasted $1 billion, but when we use the $1 billion to build a squad, like now, like come on, boys, like it's just pick. Like,
Bro, the squad has to be good, and right now we're not seeing where it's good.
the
But
squad
you're
is
not-
Another point as well, as Orin was saying, what I think he's trying to say is you guys have the money. You could have built a squad just like how we have built a squad without having to spend so much. You could have been wiser with your spending. You could have got someone better or more ready than Mudryk. You could have got someone better or more ready than who was an ex-player that you bought. I don't even know, bro, right now. Like, I saw you guys, like, you guys bought Body Shield and you haven't got, like, gave Sar or whatever he wants it, like whatever he wants to name. Like, you haven't gave him a good chance, bro. And you went down and you bought Body Shield.
It's your fault though. You buy him.
Exactly.
You can't buy a player and be like, oh, he's shit. So we
Exactly,
can't
and then just go and shop again. You have to work
Yeah.
with them. Like, have you given
So you
Sar
didn't-
half a season to prove himself?
we did. When Tuchel was there, we did. When Tuchel was there, bro, he had a half a season to prove himself, bro.
And he was horrible.
Starting week in, week out.
That guy needed to leave. Like, I had
Remember that, bro. I don't
He was-
remember.
guys.
He was
A
left
lot of
in three, bro. I'm telling you, like, it was the season when it was a season after we won the Champions League, bro. Like, at some point, like, our defenders just got injured, bro. Christensen was out.
Yeah, but then he doesn't have quality to play with, so it's like you're judging him. He's not playing with a full team. Then he's playing with some other scrubs. So how is he-
Thiago Silva's a scrub, bro. Like, he wasn't good, dog. Like, I do it, but bro, like, let's not move the goalposts. Like,
So is Body Shield good? Because when I've seen him, he's been crap, to be honest.
no, but your shield is really good.
Exactly.
quality, bro. He's
Quality?
quality.
Oh, I think he said shit. To me, he's not that quality to me. He's too timid for a defender for me.
I
Like,
know
he
that.
might be good on the ball.
But that he's 21. Like, I don't know. But
So Saliba.
Saliba is 20.
Yeah, what?
Exactly.
25
Bro,
million.
this will go on and on. So let's just go over to the next thing, right? We're gonna talk about the,
Now we can't.
like, bro, we're
I mean,
almost
it's the same topic basically. 100 million Caicedo versus 100 million rice. What does it buy you? One buys you a goal and
Wow.
one buys you
I mean,
five.
buying a player is it's just taking a risk. You don't know how they can perform. You just buy them because you see the potential and what they can do. Then you get
That's
them,
not-
and it takes time for them to get into the. You don't know what's gonna happen to them. You guys bought Pepe and a lot of players that were cooking at their clubs at the time, but when they came, they flopped. So it
But that's the
happens.
thing.
And
We didn't buy
and we
another
made the
Pepe
right
to replace
decisions to
him.
buy young players so that in case they flop, we can give them more time and make sure they fit into the league and everything and perform in the future. So
Bro, you're wearing a
we
Brighton
didn't
shirt.
buy another
You're wearing a
Pepe.
Brighton shirt.
We didn't
You're
spend
wearing a
another
Brighton
Pepe
shirt.
type of money to replace
No.
the Pepe that failed.
who?
Right? We
Like
replaced
all
Pepe
these,
with Saka.
all these players were performing really well on their own clubs when we first got them. And it's new league, they're young, it takes time. And I'll talk
but
to
you
you
can't-
2-3
you
seasons
can't-
from now.
You can't spend that much money and then spend that much money again on a replacement.
Exactly.
And
That's
who
what
did
I'm
that?
trying to say.
Who did that?
You have like
Who
17
didn't
wingers.
replace Pepe?
Who and
Who
who?
didn't replace Pepe?
Who and
with?
who?
With which player? Like no, like which
All
player?
right, you know what? Let me just go through. You guys talk. I'll just go and get my proof right now. I
No,
want
because
to
you
see
guys are
How
just
about
saying things.
how
You're
much?
just saying
What's the combined fee
No,
for
stop.
Madueke and
No.
Mudryk?
No. Before we move on, your point was we spent 100 million and then we spent another 100 million to replace the 100 million that we just spent.
Yeah,
So
like who and who?
that
Tell me
player?
names.
Who's that player? Like, don't just say things, bro. Who's that player?
How much you spent 70 on Mudryk, right? How much did you spend on Madueke?
25.
Okay,
No, that's 35.
35.
It's
35.
35. It's 35.
so that's 100
Mudryk
million
got
together,
70
and
million.
Oh,
neither
100
of them are
million
performing.
together.
Mudryk is
Oh,
88
yes.
And
million.
neither of them are performing. You can't spend 100 million
Oh,
on one
nice.
position and have no goals or assists from that.
So we should just start taking players for free. Like, you don't have to pay
Okay,
for players.
look, we bought
How much did
Pepe
you guys
for
spend for the
72,
Abdi?
right? And then we
Oh,
have
boys,
Saka
that
from
are-
the back.
35 is an average. 35 is an
Oh,
average price tag for a winger now.
Bro,
How
stop.
much did you guys spend for the Asi?
Stop. Wait,
How much
stop.
did you guys spend for
Or
Fofana?
something, bro.
No, bro.
That's a
We can't
question.
move
What's the
past
question?
that.
Answer.
We can't move past that.
When we got Fofana, he was literally the best defender in the league. With
Yeah,
Leicester.
but, yeah, and he's injured. Okay,
Injured.
injured, right?
Yeah, he was out for injury for
How
such a
much
long
did you
time.
spend for
Everyone
Diaz?
was talking about Fofana when he was playing for Leicester. He
Yeah,
was
so how
worth the
much-
price
I
tag.
have no problem with that, right?
Yeah.
He's injured.
Okay,
So how much did you spend for Diaz? That's what I'm asking you.
you have the stats. Tell me.
I don't like. I'm just looking through.
I think it was like
right
40, I think it was like 40 or 45. 40 or
now. All right,
45.
40 or 45, and you bought Fofana for around 70, 80.
Yeah.
All right, they play the same position, right?
Yes. Center.
That's what I'm trying to say. You guys are flushed with money, bro. There are other ways instead of like spending. How much did we get Saliba for? Do you guys remember?
No, I don't. As a fan, I don't really look into financial aspect of sports. To be honest,
you have
I
to.
just look at players and how they play during the game. That's what all matters. That's always problem. That's not my problem.
No, but it is your problem as a fan because at the end of the day, when these financial things come down, financial fair play, it's going to affect your ability to watch your team playing Champions League football, even if your team performs and finishes into the top four. If you guys have financial problems, you aren't going to be able to see a team playing that just because of that. So it is a part of your problem too, bro.
I'm sure if you guys had the money, you would have also spent it too. But let's
Let's rest that argument. Let's talk about the actual midfield battle in the game. So, like, we saw Gallagher, we saw Caicedo, we saw Enzo go up against Rice, Odegaard, and who else was in our midfield, Dylan?
Jorginho.
Georgie Paji. All right, let's hear. How do you think that midfield battle here?
I mean,
Havertz also a midfield, no? Where does he
he
play?
played up top. He played up top.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Yeah. So Odegaard was non-existent, which happens. I think I was talking to someone about this the other day. The further you play up the field, the more acceptable it is to have games when you just don't perform. I think Rice was super solid. I don't know why. Who said that he wasn't man of the match? I mean, he
You
scored a
said.
goal. He was lockdown defensively. He was fantastic. And Jorginho did, I'd say, a decent job. Could have been better, like more progressive on the ball. But I definitely give the midfield battle to Chelsea. I mean, I think that's part of the reason why they won. I wouldn't say like 50-50s or like physical would like swing the way of Chelsea, but I'd say from a passing point of view, we looked pretty open and porous in the midfield. So
And the
I
legs
definitely
as
give it
well
to
with
Chelsea.
Jorginho. I don't
Yeah.
like him there. If Party was there, there's no way you guys control that midfield. I'm just telling you that right
Absolutely,
now.
man.
Off the
Yeah.
board.
I'm
I
surprised he
was
didn't
so,
come on at halftime. That's
exactly.
the
I was so
substitution that I was
angry.
hoping for.
I was so angry with Jorginho. Well, not when the game started, but when I saw how the game was panning out, I was like, all right, we have to put on Party in the second half.
Mhm.
And he didn't. So even thinking about that
yeah.
as well, I'm like, yeah, Poch kind of won it.
But isn't Partey like extracurriculars, if you know what I mean? Allegedly. It's not like tactical, is it? Like without that.
With
No, he
Partey's
was no,
off-field
he was off. He
allegations.
was like
Yeah.
he had
I
an
mean, he's
injury.
been playing. He
Yeah,
played
he has
against.
been playing.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
just
I
came
think
on
he
against
had an
City.
injury
So
concern.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
he
injured
was
all
injured.
big games, man.
okay.
It's true.
Every big game.
It's bad.
He
All right, Tajh,
almost won the
let's
game against
hear
City. Sorry.
let's hear from you, bro. Midfield battle.
Yeah, Chelsea. I give it to Chelsea. Especially from those first couple opening minutes. The passes were crisp. The defense and the attack linked up really well through that midfield. And I want to talk specifically about Conor Gallagher and how much I adore his work ethic for the team. And he's just a breath of fresh air compared to what, like the down end of Mason Mount being here. It's just a breath of fresh air, and I'm really impressed once again with how he's playing. I mean, he's been showing that class from before. He just never really got the chance to shine, but now that he's here starting most of the matches, then he's really shining, and I'm very.
What's gonna happen when
very
Nkunku's back?
What did you
Do you think
say?
he's gonna when Nkunku comes back? What's gonna happen?
It's gonna play the
I
9.
think
Nkunku's gonna play the 9.
Yeah, so that's what Poch was doing in preseason.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's interesting.
Yusuf, midfield battle.
I think I agree with the other guys too. I think Jels controlled the midfield. Enzo was playing really well. A lot of good switches from one side to another, long passes. Gallagher was exceptionally good. He was so good. He used to be one of my least favorite Chelsea players because he used to make a lot of stupid mistakes and like give the ball away so easily. But like he's so technical, he can dribble, get the ball forward. Like he was a class yesterday. What's it, the other guy? Caicedo played well too. He made some really good tackles, get away with a yellow card. Like he did his job right too. Coming to Arsenal, I think one thing I have a problem with Odegaard is like he likes to keep the ball too much to the point he takes the so much opportunities from the wingers like Saka and like I understand he's a midfield, but at the same time he need to give the ball away more, take some shots, but like not all the time. And like look for a shoot or anything. Like that's the wingers and attackers job to do. Like he needs to give the ball away more. And like yesterday, he got the ball like just passing back. He wasn't the man yesterday. Who was in the midfield again? Rice.
Jorginho.
Maybe it's me. I didn't see him that much, to be honest. Bro, he like that one shot, which every other player should have scored. Like he's just
That's just not true. That's just not true.
I didn't see him though. It's maybe like I didn't see him that much. Jorginho, glad you guys took him. Jorginho is like too weak and too soft to be too slow and too weak to be in midfield, in my opinion. And I don't know, like look, you guys got like Havertz and watch Jorginho with what kind of price tag for Havertz? Like 70 million, 60, or like wherever it is, very expensive. But it's not it for me. Jorginho, he was bad yesterday. Rice, good player, but I didn't see him that much.
All right, Sinclair. Wrap it up there with you.
Uh, yeah, I agree. Like Chelsea, with like the midfield battle and everything. I don't think you guys expected us to like stagger the midfield. So like there was going to be like no space for you guys to like move the ball between lines. So I think that's part kind of, but like I guess that's what like we won the midfield battle. In terms of Odegaard, I don't know. Like I agree with what like everyone else was saying about how like he went missing and everything. Um, but I don't know why. I guess it's that whole thing with like techie, like those techie midfielders that need deception to be able to like beat you. Is when things get like physical and it's like man to man and it's like someone's like on your back type of thing. It's like, okay, cool, like what are you gonna do, you know? So yeah, I think he was bad. I think Jorginho was fine, bro. I just think he just didn't do anything, bro. You know what I mean? He was just literally like moving the ball into areas that just weren't like
That's what I
effective.
was saying. I don't think his passing was progressive enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was like useless passing, but nonetheless, he was okay. I think Rice. I agree with Yusuf. Like when Rice in the first half, when Rice was like in the eight, when he was in the half space, like ahead of Zinchenko and Jorginho, like he wasn't doing anything. You know, I saw him do the most when like Jorginho went off and he went like deepest, like he was a deepest six. That's when I saw like him
Yeah,
tackling,
he's
distributing, like everything. Like he was like good, but I still don't think enough to be man of the match. Caicedo, like he was fine, bro, but he was like conservative, like a lot, you know, like in everything. Like his passing was safe, like his tackling was safe, which is fine and everything. But like, I don't know, he can. I know he can do better. Enzo was fine, defensively kind of shaky. Gallagher, I think was our best midfielder. In terms of like his energy, closing down, getting back into spaces. Oh no, Palmer. Sorry, Palmer was our best midfielder. Um, I think he was really good just finding pockets like outside of the press to like get the ball and like circulate the ball and just like creatively finding balls and stuff. He was good. Um, I think that's everyone, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think we won though.
Yeah. And let's just start with you and then go back to the rest of Chelsea fans. Where do you guys think will you'll finish this season?
Chelsea. I can see a fifth, fourth. I can see a fifth, fourth. I think by like what are we in October? I think by like December, January. Hopefully, when our players come back and they're fit and there's a fit team to choose from and everything, and like we get rolling and everything, I think we can like be up there. Like I think we play really well. So yeah, fifth, sixth,
All right.
fourth,
Todd,
fifth, fourth, fifth, fourth, fifth.
fourth three. All
Yeah.
right. Todd, where?
Yeah, I think about fifth or sixth for the same reason as Sinclair. Once you can, survive this run of games that we have now, and then the guys come back fully fit and ready to play, then I can see, hopefully, the worst I see us being is 7.
7. All right.
Yeah.
Yusuf.
With the current progress and like if they continue like developing as they are right now, each game coming up, I give it that the players are a lot of players are coming fit soon. I think I see fourth, fifth too, like fourth, fifth, ward 6, like 4, 5. Yeah, I think that's a fair way to say it. So if you get 4, I'll be super happy.
All right. Cool. So yeah, I think that's it. This was full of a lot of debates. A lot
One
of
more question.
huh?
One more question.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think? What do you guys think will be man of the match? I don't think Rice was man of the match. I will give Cucurella to be man of the match. And if you look at the cross too that Saka gave, like if you think about how dangerous of a player Saka is, like he could have changed the whole game. And Cucurella marked him really well. And last goal when they scored, when Trossard scored, he wasn't really the one marking. There was someone else marking him that couldn't get the ball. So I think Cucurella will have been man of the match in that game, but I don't know how they give it to Rice. But they can, you can end it if you want. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give a credit to defenders. Like
yeah.
they're the most underrated people. Like, you know what I mean?
Especially wing backs. If you're not an attacking
Yeah.
wing back, you'll barely get it. But like, yeah, I'm biased. So if you go on the Gunnaz page right now, you'll see that I put Rice as the man of the match. The only way an opposing team player will get it is if we lost the game. like in the Lance match. So
Yeah.
I put Rice, but if I'm to be unbiased, I would maybe go Gallagher because his energy was just like up here. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you guys again for coming on. And for you guys out there, don't forget, as you're seeing down below, to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And yeah, we'll see you again. Peace.
All right, boys.
The Gunnaz Podcast.